Hello, everybody. Welcome to the fall 2021 section of Music 104, Rock Music History and Appreciation, my section of it. My name is Professor Shane Cadman, and I will be your instructor for the semester. Just to get started off, I am totally fine with you calling me Shane. You don't have to call me Professor Cadman. Shane is fine. Don't call me Mr. Cadman. That's my dad. You could call me Dr. Cadman, but I don't have a doctorate, so that would be unethical. So yeah, Shane is totally fine. I'd like to welcome you to the class. It's going to be a good one. And I know that a lot of you are all pros with online classes and asynchronous classes and all of that. Maybe not asynchronous, but certainly online. And so we're going to dig into that. And I just want to welcome you to the class and give you a little bit of a breakdown of what to expect this semester. This is a regular full 16-week class. So kind of the time frame that probably a lot of you are used to. I just got through a summer 4-week session that was really fast and furious. And so this will move at a more moderate pace. But I just wanted to welcome you here and get you all set up for that. So as I mentioned, this class is asynchronous. That means we do not meet anytime. Now, that being said, I'm going to have a little open house Monday night, August 23rd. And the reason I put the date and I don't say what day is because I don't know when you're watching this. Hopefully you're watching it Monday or even Sunday night. I'll post this. This will go live Sunday night. So that would either be tomorrow night or tonight that we will have the open house. It is not required. It's basically, I'm going to be on ConferZoom and you'll see the link to that. You're probably all Zoom pros by now. And I'll just be live in there from 7 to 8. You're welcome to pop in if you have any questions or just want to say hi, but do not feel obligated. It is not a requirement. There's nothing connected to the grade. It's just me making myself available. So the fact that it's asynchronous means that you're going to do this on your own time throughout the week. But I do have deadlines. I do have assignments that are set up, and it is organized weekly, so which is either by orientation or the chapter that we're studying, or chapters in some cases. So there's a rhythm to the class, and that's really to help you and me so you get the hang of things. So every week you're going to have a module or two. For the most part, this week there'll be a little bit more because there's just all the introductory materials that you'll go through. Every week you'll have a class discussion. Most of the time I will be breaking the class up into subgroups. It just kind of helps facilitate things a little bit. But in the beginning and at the very end, it'll be the whole class. So you'll have a discussion. I will give you a prompt, and then you are to reply to the prompt, and you're to read the instructions, and the initial reply is due by the end of the day on Thursday every day. And the reason that I do this is because the second part of those discussions is for you to reply to at least 2 other posts. And so if I left that all to the last minute, it would be harder to do. So the idea here is you're going to go through the module or modules. You're going to go through the textbook. The textbook is required. The textbook is Rock Music Styles, 8th edition by Catherine Charlton. I recommend that you rent the book. I'm all for keeping costs down to a minimum. So I know that it can be rented through our bookstore and through other places like Amazon. So I recommend renting the book through the end of the semester. Do you need the book to pass the class? Yeah, probably you do. A lot of the materials are very much connected to what you're going to be learning out of the textbook. And so I know that I catch students all the time just kind of looking up the prompts and finding other things, Wikipedia or other websites or weird, deep web Russian websites and all of that. And really, if you read the materials and watch the materials, you'll do fine. This is not a difficult textbook. It's not a ton of reading. This is the only book that we use for this class. When I was in college, it was not uncommon to have many books to read in a semester. So I try to keep these realistic to you in your time. And also because I want you to be listening to the music as much as you're doing reading. For every chapter, there's a Spotify playlist that I've made. And so my suggestion every week is that you start off the week by listening to the music. You can listen to it while you're studying or reading or whatever you're doing, just have it on in the background so that you get it. Because that's what this class is about, right? It's all about music. It's all about what we're hearing. And that's the important thing. So the materials are based around the 8th edition. Could you pass the class with the 7th edition? Probably you could. There's a little bit of changes at the end. A few things that are taken in or left out of certain chapters. I definitely would not go earlier than that. But again, if you can rent it inexpensively, that is my recommendation. I believe the library may have a copy of the book as well. So, so you have the book. You're going to have the listening, you're going to have the discussions. Every week, you're going to start off the week with a welcome video, and that video is basically me giving you the context for the materials of the week. I used to make these things, I would put in extra credit questions every now and then, but it's really important that you watch the videos and that you get what I'm setting up, because I will also update you with, if there's any announcements, if there's anything coming up, things that I'm thinking about. I'll remind you of deadlines. And so it's important that you watch them. So I've recently started where it is a required part of the class and it's graded. They are easy points. Every video you're to watch, and then you will be asked a question. In the past, I would have everybody reply with the answer. I'm going to be experimenting this semester with a new technology to see if I can embed that and see if that works. So just bear with me as I try that. If it doesn't work the way I want it to work, then I'll still do it as replies. If for some reason I do it as replies and you go to it and you go, wow, nobody else has replied yet, that may not be the case. It's set up so that you can only see what happens when you reply. You won't see other people's replies, because obviously, not that I'm questioning anybody's ethical or moral lack of good judgment, but sometimes people will, try to get the answers the easy way. And these are simple questions, so it shouldn't be an issue. It was more an issue with the discussions. I discovered that students were basically kind of writing or rewriting just what they were reading from others. So that also is set up so that you will not see other replies until you make your initial reply. For the discussions, you have to do your initial reply first. If you don't do your initial reply first, I won't count the assignment at all. Same thing for these replies. You only get one. Sometimes I'll ask you a simple question that may have one answer or two answers. If it is set up with the replies, it's important that you get it all in the first shot. So you watch the video, you'll find the question that I ask you, and then you'll go from there. Sometimes I put the question at the beginning, at the middle, at the end. I vary it. So it's not like you can flip to the end of the video and say, okay, I'm just going to look for the question that he asks, because what I'm teaching you is important. I generally don't make these videos super long. This one will be longer because it's introductory materials. But the welcome to the week, it's just really to help you get ready for the week and set the context for the materials. You're also going to have a reflection observation that you're going to do each week, and that'll be on a topic that I give you. You are to post the topic at the top of your reply, and that's really to help you as you're writing it, to make sure that you are answering what is being asked. I get students that will, they'll read it and then they think they know what I'm asking, and then they'll do something totally different. And so that's why I have you do this. It's to be at least 250 words, it's 250 word minimum. They're not tough. Again, they're based on the materials in the text. And remember that if you're going for the minimum and you do a good minimal job, you'll get a C on the assignment. So don't think that minimum equals A. A requires extra work, and that's the case with everything in this class. You got to do all the work to earn the grade. So the C is the baseline that if you do the minimum requirements, that's what you're going to get. You want a better grade on something, you want an A, you want a B, then you got to put in some extra work. Plagiarism is a huge problem. It's something I take very, very seriously. And so I do get students, because some of these questions are, you can hunt them down. Sometimes you can actually find mine exactly, but other times, they're broad enough so that you can find it. Except that I will often, or almost always at the very end, have you connect what you've learned in the materials to what's going on today. So I really want you to be listening to the music, listening to current music, really being thoughtful about what's going on. If you were caught plagiarizing, you'll get an F on the assignment. You'll get 0 points for the first time and a warning. And if you are caught a second time, you'll get an F in the class right then and there. And you will be reported to the school. And then that will go on your record, which, yes, there actually is a record in terms of that, like a permanent record. And you could actually get kicked out of school. Now, I don't want that to happen. You don't want that to happen. I just have to give you fair warning because that is possibly the case. So you have the reflection observation. You're going to have a quiz every week, 20-question quiz based on the materials, primarily the reading. You're going to have 3 tests. So I don't do midterm final. I do 3 tests that are basically the same. So there's going to be 100 questions, largely drawn from the quizzes. And then there's going to be a second part that are listening. It's a listening. So you're going to have to listen to a piece of music, and then I'm going to ask you a question about it. Not super difficult, but it, you do got to think about what you're listening to and all of that. It'll never be what's the title or what's, who's the artist, because it's Spotify links that are embedded. And so that's already there. So it's going to be something else related to the piece of music. They're not tough, but I want to make sure that you're listening to it. You're going to have a concert report. You are to do an online concert report. We are not, unfortunately, out of this COVID thing enough. I am watching artists every day cancel tours and reschedule tours, and that was kind of my former other line of business as a former theater manager, presenter. And so since we're not out of the woods enough with this yet, you're to watch an online video. I give you a link. And that's just to get you started. If there's something else that you see that interests you more, that's totally fine. Just check with me first if you're unsure. I don't recommend necessarily watching old videos, probably pre-70s, pre-mid-70s, just because there's not as much sort of visual value and it's harder to write about. But you'll see the rubric and you can follow all of that. And so I think that's the bulk of what's going to happen here. It's a good class. It's a fun class. You get to listen to a lot of music. So I hope that you're spending the time doing that. And again, just a reminder, make sure that you're watching the videos. Please reach out to me anytime that you need. If you have any questions about anything, I think I say in the materials that I'll get back to you within 24 hours. Most of the time, depending on what my schedule's like, I'm back to you within an hour or two. I try to be very responsive that way because I know that we got to work together because this is an asynchronous class. And I'm just trying to think if there's anything else that I missed. I don't think so. I think that that's the bulk of it for this class. So welcome. Maybe I'll see you at the little Zoom open house on Monday night. And otherwise, materials for this will be live Sunday night. But the class officially starts. And then you'll see, oh, by the way, that's one other thing. A lot of the assignments, those don't unlock until Tuesdays. So Monday mornings, 8 o'clock, your modules that you'll be going through for the week will unlock. And then on Tuesday mornings at 8 o'clock, your assignments will unlock. And that gives you a little time to go through materials. I just don't also want everybody just trying to crank through it. I can see how much time you're spending in the class, at least online. I don't know how much time you're reading, obviously, but I can see how much time you're spending in the class. And I know a lot of people, they just try to click through. Like, I'm just going to click through, get through everything and all of that. And, college is different than high school. And it's weird to even have to say that. But remember that you're here by choice, and that hopefully that's the case, and that you are here to learn. I will tell you right now, your GPA, unless you're going to go to grad school, your college GPA doesn't matter. Once you're in college, your high school GPA doesn't matter. This is really about learning. It's not about the piece of paper that you get. It's about what you're going to learn in the course of the class and then how that applies to your life moving forward. And in a class like this, you'll be amazed at some of the stuff you're going to learn that we're still grappling with and dealing with, i.e. slavery and other issues like that, racial injustices, that it's still, I mean, you think it's as relevant today as it always has been. And that's really the truth, is it's always been an issue, but particularly poignant for us. And so what you're going to learn about applies. This is a history class, but it's a cool history class in that it's all tied around music. And so it's a lot easier for us to be able to grab onto it than some dry history class that's taught war to war and battle to battle. So take the time to really learn the material, not just get through the material. I hope that makes sense. And so I'm really glad you're in the class. I'm looking forward to a great semester. It's going to be a fun one, and we will talk soon. Take good care. Bye.